Conservative new media viewers, J-Lin fans around the world, what's up? It's me, PFA Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert, and we're here to discuss the Nets' 108-99 defeat tonight to the Miami Heat, in Brooklyn, New York City. Miami improves to 24-30 on the season. They've now won 13 games in a row. Brooklyn falls to 9-45 on the year. They have dropped 12 straight games. So it's the first time I've been able to do a game. In the last 4 games, I missed the Toronto, Charlotte, and Washington games, all of which were close, as was tonight's game. So as we've been talking about in recent videos during this losing streak, the Nets are getting closer and closer and closer. Going back to the huge victory they had against the New Orleans Pelicans now 13 games ago, when they scored 143 points, and that probably the best game they put together the entire season. Since that time, the Nets have been most of these losses have been close. Iron Eagle said tonight that I think something like, oh no, it wasn't even Iron Eagle. It was the Miami Heat announcers. They said that 9 of Brooklyn's 11 losses coming into tonight in the last 11 games have been by 10 or fewer points. So they're right there. And tonight was another example of that same instance. They lost by 9 points, but this game was tied up with, let me look at it right now, about, early in the fourth. I mean, this was a competitive game, and the Nets very much could have won it. So this is where we're at right now. And I just want to talk more about what exactly happened in this game. Where are the Nets overall? Going over some themes we've already talked about, but they're still in effect right now. Let me just say this first to people who follow us on Twitter. Recently, our account was cut out of 3 Twitter DM groups, the direct messaging groups where you get together with a bunch of people. What I think happened, it wasn't us. We didn't pull out of the groups. And one of the groups was one that we started, J-Lin Talk. I think that there are 1 or 2 individuals who are in these 3 groups. I have an idea of who it is, but it doesn't really matter, who blocked us on Twitter, I believe because of political reasons or disagreements with myself and John's politics, something like this. Anyway, when you are blocked by somebody in a DM group, you are then removed from the group. And so that's what happened. And so I was kicked out of my own group, essentially, in addition to 2 other groups. It's not a big deal. I'm not concerned about it. There's been a lot of high emotions since President Trump's election and inauguration. Understood. Just want to let people know I am not voluntarily leaving groups. People that know us and know me know that I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do that. But I just want to give an update for some people there's been a couple people who've asked me what happened, what's going on, why did you leave these groups? And it wasn't a voluntary thing. And hopefully in time we can rebuild those groups or build new ones or whatever. Now, back to tonight's game. So this game was tied 83-83. Relatively early in the fourth quarter. However, the Nets had like an 11-point lead late in the third quarter. And then they kind of lost that. And what's happening, as we've mentioned before, is the Nets, they don't know how to close games. They're a little bit short on talent, and they're quite a bit short on understanding how to win, knowing who's the go-to guy, and so forth. They got bullied a little bit tonight by Miami in the last 15 or so minutes of this game. And the Nets, they don't understand how to fight that off yet. They're trying hard. I'll tell you, the person who was really going at it tonight was Karis LeVert. He was talking a lot of trash talk to Miami, but not in a bad way. In a way like, look, we're a real team. We're here to win. We're not pushovers. We're not just going to sit down and let you guys beat us. That's a good sign. You learn a lot of things when you're on a team that loses. You learn who are the guys who are going to fight and who are the guys who might have a little less fight in them. Obviously, Karis LeVert has a lot of fight in him. And look, this isn't anybody's fault. This is what you expect to happen. The team is a little under-talented. They're rookie coach, new team with guys playing with one another, guys playing roles they didn't think they were going to play, like Randy Foye having to play point guard down the stretch of this game, which is not his natural position. Isaiah Whitehead playing a lot, even though he's a rookie. Karis LeVert playing a lot, even though he's a rookie, and so forth. So guys have to figure it out. And not only do they have to figure it out for themselves individually, they have to figure it out as a team. Like, okay, we're going to go to this guy when we need to get a bucket midway through the fourth quarter. They don't know that yet. They don't have that yet. And the truth be told, the way the Nets play offense, it's not really like that. It's more of like, okay, if you're open, you shoot and you hit the shot. Still, there are times where you want to be able to, when you really need a basket and you want to be able to go to somebody like a Brook Lopez, like a Jeremy Lin, and be able to get it. They're not there yet. Like, for example, Randy Foye tried to get a ball to Brook Lopez relatively late in this game for just that purpose. Like, okay, let's go to Brook. Brook's a guy. Let's let him help us out here. And it was a turnover because the pass wasn't that good. Well, these are things that just, honestly, you just have to play through them. And you have to continue to build up the roster and get some more talent and so forth. And look, it's frustrating. It frustrates me. I'm sure it frustrates many of you guys. You feel like you're seeing the same thing over and over again. But this is a much better point that Brooklyn is at now than where they were at earlier in the year. Early on, it looked great. Things looked good. It looked like this team might have a real chance of going to the playoffs or doing something. Fortunately, that didn't happen. The injuries started to pile up. Jeremy was missing a number of games. And then the Nets looked terrible for a long time. They just looked really, really bad. They looked outgunned. They didn't know what they were doing and so forth. But now they're losing, but it's close. They're in the games. They have a chance to win. Now they need to get to the next level, which is winning the game. Breaking through this glass ceiling type of situation that they can't get to a W right now. And that's the way you have to see it. So two guys might lose a race, but they might lose it in completely different ways. And the way that Brooklyn is losing is a lot better than how they were losing earlier in the season. And they just, honestly, you just got to get mad. You just got to fight a little harder. You just got to push a little harder and just be sick of it and burst out of the shell. And that's where they're heading towards. Just haven't quite been able to do it yet. Look, they took the Wizards to overtime last game. I thought they were going to get the win there. So they're coming close. And that's what we have to look at with this team. We have to accept that this is where the team is at right now. They're just a little bit short right now. And so we have to reevaluate our expectations and kind of bring it back down to earth a little bit. I haven't heard a lot about Jeremy in terms of his injury. I do know that Jeremy was on CNBC's Squawk Box program the other morning because the Nets made a deal with the company Infor, I believe is the name of the company, that Infor is going to sponsor the Nets, and the Nets are going to put on the Infor logo on their jerseys. I guess, starting next season. And I think it's going to be something like $8 million a year that the Nets get from that. This is the first season in which teams are allowed to take on sponsorship and put advertisements on the jerseys. And so the Nets are one of the teams that have agreed to do that. And so Jeremy was there on CNBC to kind of promote that for the team. And good. Look, Jeremy's doing his thing. He looks good. I think we're about 2 weeks or a little bit more than that, maybe 2.5 weeks since he re-injured the hamstring. The initial prognosis was 3 to 5 additional weeks. So if Jeremy sits out all 5 weeks, then we're about halfway through that. And I guess that would put him kind of on the shelf until after the All-Star game break, which makes sense. You don't really want or need to bring him back before then. So give him some extra rest, let him heal up, and bring him back then. Otherwise, I personally haven't heard any news about how he's doing or anything. Although somebody did tweet me and they showed that Master Lowe, who is Jeremy's personal therapist, like physical therapist, I believe, and masseuse, had come, I believe, to Brooklyn to help him out, like to kind of help aid in the healing process. So that's good. That's good to see. Obviously, Jeremy's doing whatever he can to get healed up, and he wants to get back on the court as soon as he can. So this is where we're at, though. Although, look, there's many things in this game that I thought were really good, and one of them was the minutes distribution. Nobody on the team played more than 30 minutes. Brook Lopez had 30 minutes right on the nose. Everybody who played at least 16 minutes. 11 guys played, and each of them played at least 16 minutes. This is the formula for the squad. This is what Coach Atkinson wants to do. We've talked about it numerous times. He wants to play a lot of guys, probably 11 men, and he wants to keep the minutes relatively low so nobody's going too many minutes and getting worn out or tired. That helps in terms of injuries over the course of the season, and it also helps within games because your team's fresher and the other team might be a little worn down. That's what we've talked about with the bench being able to do more damage. They're fresh. They're used to playing a lot, like the Spurs bench is, and they can do more for you. And I know the bench, I believe the Nets bench outscored the Heat, although you know what? Now I'm looking at it, I don't think they did. And that's because a couple of the Heat's bench players really were strong for them down the stretch. The way that Miami won this game was, again, they kind of started to bully the Nets a little bit. Miami went small ball late in the game. They had 2 point guards out there in Dragic and Johnson, and they went without a traditional center. I think James Johnson was playing center for them, and they just used a lot of pick and rolls, and it was almost like a Warriors type of an attack where everybody was able to make plays and kind of get to the basket, and who do you guard, and you're too big and you're too slow to guard them, and this type of thing. And it worked. You have to give credit to Miami and Coach Spoelstra. They've really done a good job in saving their season over the last 13 games. I mean, now they're in pretty close position to a playoff spot. Eric Spoelstra has won 2 championships. He knows his team. He knows what he wants to do. Coach Atkinson is in his first year. He's learning his team. They're not sure exactly what they want to do yet. And so this is what you get. But the Nets were very competitive. They stayed with it. They're just... Not only are they playing a team who's feeling incredibly good right now in the Heat because they feel invincible right now on this winning streak, they're again, the Nets they're playing the extreme end of teams with confidence right now. Even though the Heat aren't the best team, they feel really good right now. And the Nets are on the other end of the spectrum where they're searching for some confidence. They're looking for confidence. And that's what you got tonight. But I said, the Nets, it's another close game. They did have a chance to win. They are gaining in confidence. You can see it. They just have to continue to work to figure out who is their best lineup late, and how are they going to get baskets and kind of prioritize their hierarchy of players late in games. Who's going to get the ball? Where are they going to get it? How are you going to get shots, etc.? And they're not there yet. That's okay. They're not supposed to be there yet. This is what a lot of experts predicted was going to happen this season, and it's happening. So that's kind of where we're at. And unfortunately, tonight was another defeat for the Nets in that building process. I should also mention that Dion Waiters, who's been a big part of this Miami resurgence, he missed the game tonight with the sprained ankle. And sitting out the game for the Nets due to injury were J-Lin with the hamstring and Quincy Acey, who I believe is suffering from his own sprained ankle right now. Everybody said Brook was a star, 30 points, 8 rebounds. Randy Foye, 15 points, 2 assists. They struggled with turnovers in the last quarter. Boyan, 10 points, 6 rebounds. Trevor Booker, 8 points, 10 rebounds. The bench was very nice scoring and evenly distributed contributions from the bench. Karis LeVert, 9 points, 3 rebounds. Isaiah Whitehead, 6 points, 2 rebounds. Justin Hamilton, 6 points, 3 rebounds. So everybody's contributing. Everybody did something in this game. The only person who didn't score in this game, who played for Brooklyn, was Spencer Dinwiddie, but he had 8 assists and only 1 turnover. So everybody is getting it done. They just need to get it done a little more cohesively and at a little bit of a higher level in crunch time. And we're moving towards that. But just, unfortunately, we're not there yet. And this is where we are, and we continue to move forward. And obviously, the Nets do miss both Quincy Acey and Jeremy. So that's about it for tonight's game. Let's talk about the next game coming up, and that game will take place 3 days from now. Brooklyn has the weekend off. It will be on Monday, February 13th. It will take place in Brooklyn, New York, and it will be against the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis is they've been up and down this year. They started really well. They started poorly, then they started doing really well. I think they've struggled with different injury issues. I don't have a complete fix on them right now in terms of exactly where they're at right now because I haven't paid a lot of attention to them. But they can kind of grind you, although they are playing more up-tempo now. They have a new coach. I cannot remember his name right now. Oh, no, David Fizdale. Excellent young coach. They're changing things around. It certainly should be another game in which the Nets can compete. Memphis is tough. When they're on, they're very difficult to beat. They just kind of grind you down and can get you with defense and smothered you. But the Nets should have a chance in that game. They should have a chance in that game without looking too deeply into where Memphis is at this current moment. That game will take place 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, February 13th here in the United States. And you can catch it either on the Yes Network or else NBA League Pass if you do not live in Memphis, in and around Memphis or in and around New York City. So it's kind of the same story. We're waiting for the breakthrough. We're waiting for this team to kind of be able to do what they did against New Orleans about a month ago or 3 weeks ago now. It's there. They just don't know how to do it consistently and repeatedly. They're learning it. They just have to learn how to win. They just have to learn how to come together a little bit more. And so this is where we're at. But it's definitely better being here than being in blowout after blowout after blowout after blowout. These games are frustrating because you know Brooklyn can win them, and they haven't been able to win them. But they're definitely improving, and they're taking steps forward, and just going to stay positive and keep moving with that. Okay, hope you're having a great day or great night wherever you are around the world when you watch this video. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon. Once again, I am PFV Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We strive to be the #1 Jeremy Lin YouTube fan channel. So, 3 days from now, Nets gets to rest up, heal up, and they will host the Memphis Grizzlies Monday, February 13th from Barclays